I don't know what's going on, my people. We just had some real serious technical difficulty. This is
The
one of them
devil
days.
working hard. The
This is
devil
one of
working
those
hard.
days. This is one of those days. We back in the flow. Hopefully, you guys will jump back on. And I think my laptop.
This
I
is
knew something was
why,
wrong.
listen, I'm not even going to laugh at you about the tech stuff. I've been sitting here going back and forth with the tech people at my job about this laptop.
But come on, let's we're gonna get back in it. Hopefully everybody will jump back on. Pick up where you left off, or I want to ask you a particular question.
Um,
I don't know which one I want to ask you. Do I want to ask you from your experience, what's the biggest misconception men have about leadership today? Or do I want to ask you, where did you learn your definition of manhood? Experience, culture, trauma, or example? Give me an example.
Oh, I love that
I think I'll go
question.
with that.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to answer them both for you at the same time.
Go ahead.
That first, because I think the first part is important for a lot of men to understand before I go into that answer of where did I learn that, right? Where have I seen it, learning, right? And most men grow up thinking leadership is about how vocal you are.
Hmm.
We think leadership is about the position you have attained. Leadership is all about demonstration. Like, leadership isn't about speaking about your leadership and your abilities to lead. Leadership is literally about the demonstration of it. And I think that's important for men to say because I know there's some men out here who are just like me. And what I mean by that is that there's some men who got a bunch of daggone good ideas in their head. And honestly, there are probably some great ideas, but none of it is demonstrated in your life. You have all the insight, you got all the ingenuity, the intuition, the intelligence, but you haven't applied it and you haven't shown that you can actually demonstrate that which you're speaking about. This is how we recognize false teachers. You can't demonstrate what you're showing me. So now let's go into the second part about how I learned it and everything else you mentioned. Culture, you mentioned trauma, you mentioned environment. Um, Believe it or not, all that contributed to the toxic definitions of leadership and manhood that I had. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna name one guy. We both know him, and he gave me by far to date the best. He's been the best example of looking at manhood and leadership, and he did it for me in one example. Right? You know this brother, PJ,
Yeah.
and here's what PJ did. This is what happened with PJ. Now, PJ, I ain't telling all your business in case you're watching this right now. But last summer, PJ had a situation with his oldest daughter. And I got to be honest, if I was in that same situation, I wouldn't have reacted like PJ did. Most of us will hear our children acting in a way that is, let's just say, not productive. Most of us come from the teaching that says discipline is about embarrassment and shame. Discipline is about pain in a very physical way, right? What this brother did when his daughter did what she did, he did not shame her about what she did. He he pointed out to her pieces of her own lineage. He then also pointed out to her the work that she was doing in the church, and and asked her, "Which of these are you trying to be? Because you're walking in two different identities right now. So you can deal with the identity of the world, or you can identify with the identity that God has for you right now." And I am in no way articulating it the way that he did, because the way that he did almost had me in tears listening to it. Like, it was by far the most spiritual beating I had ever heard a parent give a child. But I point that out because even in that one example, what he has done with his three daughters, how he is with his wife, It has been nothing but a demonstration. He's not a guy that tells me how to operate in a relationship, but he doesn't demonstrate it in his own home. He's not going to be the guy that's going to tell me, hey, George, speak like this to your wife, but then he goes around and he barks on his wife every chance he gets. Listen, we know brothers like that. We know brothers who will walk in your home, tell you that you ain't talking right to your kids or to your wife when you know good and well you just either saw him going off on his wife or kids, you know that you covered for the dirt that he did on his wife and his kids, but he got all this. Now, granted, what he said to you was right, but he can't demonstrate it.
Wait. So let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Because so hear me out. So when I used to preach, well, I still preach. I would have to preach, right, stuff that I wasn't living,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to say it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Been there.
I think
But
sometime I think, I mean, no, I don't
you
think I
talking to
know.
an addiction coach who was still struggling with alcohol, having clients.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's like God is really unique because God will use what you can't do to help somebody do what you can't do. So
Oh,
so
absolutely, he will. Now, but I
hold on,
think
wait,
okay, go ahead.
hold on. Let me
Let
say
me
it one
finish that
second.
out. We're gonna have a good one. This
So
is turning.
so
He took me from the one-liners, by the way. I had
yeah.
nothing but one-liners till now.
So we blame the brother for saying something that he ain't doing, but God wants him to say it to get his purpose out. But we start judging the brother because he ain't living what God is telling him to do. But what he was saying, it was for him to work on, but it's for the hearers to do. No, let me put it like this. Somebody is listening to what when I say something I can't do, and they get the solution and start doing it. Ain't got nothing to do with what I can do or not. But will judge me based on what I say, not knowing that what I said helps somebody. And the purpose of me saying what I'm saying is to help somebody. Hmm.
What is 10 minus 6?
-4.
Okay, you on the opposite end of the spectrum, but it's 4. We're gonna stick with the
Oh,
numbers
it's
on
4.
this one. It's okay.
See,
You
I
don't,
thought it was
no,
a trick
hey.
question. I thought it was a trick question. So
See,
I figured
see,
if
see,
I come
I
negative
don't come
four,
with trickery. That's the tools of the
I
devil.
figured if I say -4, I would get the right
Mm-mm.
answer, what you was looking for. Because
Stay
this
with
now
me.
wait. Now here the other thing. People have a tendency, right, to ask you questions that you know when they answer it, you're gonna say it ain't right anyway. But go ahead.
Just stay with me. Just stay with me. So now let's assume that you are an educator. You have taught this student 10 minus 6 is 4. Like you went and had a refresher course. So you know it's 4, not -4. So you teach this student 10 minus 6 is 4. Did you teach the student right information?
Of course.
Absolutely, you did. Absolutely, you did. Now, the same teacher goes home. He has $100 in his account, right? He spends 60. The next day, he's stuck at home because he needed 50, not 40. So the instructor did his job in communicating the lesson. He did that. No one's going to take that away. But when the instructor repeatedly cannot demonstrate the lesson, once we can say that's a mistake. You had a bad calculation period. But for the student, because this isn't about judgment on the teacher. There's no judgment on the teacher. I'm not here to judge. This isn't about saying, oh, let me point fingers at you and you telling me to do this and this. No. That's in the book of Micah. We're not even gonna go that route with it. My point in this though is that the student over time will reject the teacher because the teacher can't demonstrate what they're teaching. We see this take place way too often within our own households. We have grown, even now today, people wonder why our children react the way and operate the way that they behave today. And there's 1,001 theories that people want to project about it. For me, what I really believe is that I grew up in the generation, and you know this, do as I say, not as I what?
Do.
There you go. That was the rule of thumb that we all had growing up, right? Now, the backdrop to that rule of thumb is that everybody who got that piece of information held in the back of their head, as soon as I get grown, I'm gonna go do what I ain't supposed to do. So now we got kids today who no longer accept the rationale of do as I say, not as I do. We have kids today who are like, you said that, but you don't do that. You said stay in school, but you never graduated. You said don't do drugs, but you get high every day or you drink every day. You said treat women a certain way, but you got 3 baby mamas out here and you treating my mama horribly. We are in an age right now where it's not just the speaking of truth is what is profound. It is the speaking followed by the demonstration. Because even when the speaking is gone, the demonstration always remains. So this isn't a judgment for brothers, because what you said was so spot on correct. There's too many examples of that to take that away. Absolutely, God will use the bum to tell somebody about their finances. God will use the wayward person to help get his word out and his message out. I'm speaking from the space that on average, most of us won't get that lesson. That lesson, for me, in my experience, it'll hit for a couple. But I know for me, at some point, if you can't demonstrate, like that's my attraction right now as a man, because I follow examples. Like words will always sound great, but I follow examples today because examples produce a profit for me in some respect. Like I can do this. I've seen the examples that come out of this. Boom. And now here's the flip side of this for me is that I've lived the life in addiction of trying to tell people one thing while I do another thing, and that becomes a short-lived dream. Short-lived dream.
So let me throw
We're
this
gonna
out
have
here
fun
to all
tonight.
my people, right? So here's the thing, because we take this world system and we apply it to our life, like masculinity. We take masculinity and we apply it to our life. The old adage, do as I say and not as I do. So here's the thing, right? Because I even came from deeper than when you came, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The thing they're telling me is this is what you do. My appreciation is when I do it, I learn. The flip side is don't do as I say, not as I do, because what you're seeing is wrong. So stop looking at what I'm doing and just continue to do what I'm telling you to do. Period. So I'm really grateful that my mom like kept telling me stop looking at her and look at God. See, that's where we're missing this thing when we take that phrase and we take it and we put it in the world system. We put in the world system as to say, okay, I'm looking at you now. You're telling me something. Now I'm looking at you to see if you're doing it. Even though what you're saying is right, and even though it's changing my life, I'm looking at you to see if it's doing it. Instead of if I look at God, I don't have time to look at you what you're not doing. So it's really, really like how do we come to a point that we take the world system and their phrases? Do we truly understand what that phrase meant? And watch this. Now let's do a historical backdrop of where did that phrase come from and why do they say it? Because I'm telling you right now, as a young person, I'm I'm telling you what not to do because I experienced it. You might see me keep doing it because look, it's a habit to me. I'm not gonna get no better in this area. I'm just not gonna get no better. So this is what I want you to do. I'm telling you what to do. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Because if you're doing what I'm doing, you're going to get the same results. That's what I'm saying. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I say and not as I do. Because I'm helping you to avoid from the consequences that I know is going to become you if you do if you do what I'm doing in the negative sense. Watch this. So how do I apply that to the positive sense? Notice that phrase was only said when they was applying to something negative that that person was doing. That phrase was never used when it was for something that I was living, that I was doing. I never had to say that phrase. But I'm telling you from an experiment, I'm telling you from an experience, if you continue to do, if you do this right here, what you're seeing me doing, then you're gonna wind up right where I'm at. So it's how you look at that phrase. It's how you look at that phrase and where did it come from and why some of the older people. So what happened was it came down to lineage, right? So grandpa learned it. Then grandpa, great grandpa gave it to grandpa, right? Then grandpa gave it to mom. And then when it got to me, we wanted to start changing stuff up, right? Then when it got to my kids, then they wanted to start changing and taking that phrase the way it is. And now, like you said, they're at a place, they're more looking at man instead of looking at God because they're thinking, well, if you're doing it, I can do it. Well, you don't know why am I really telling you not to do it? You don't have a full understanding of it because it got diluted on its way down. Listen, so many things have gotten diluted. Is it this? So is it tradition or is the world system that's changing the things? So we talk about manhood, right? Watch this. The young fellas, they don't have a clue what manhood is because we tell them to man up when they're young, but we never explain to them how to be a man because we don't know how to be a man neither. So now here we go. Masculinity, be man, do as I say, and not as I do. Let's just stay with that phrase right there, right? So now they're more inclined. Watch this. There was a time when they said, do this. We just did. We ain't asked for no explanation. We wasn't trying to figure it out. We did exactly what they said for us to do, right? And it turned out right. Now, before they know if it turns out right, they don't do it, but they're looking at you what you ain't doing. So how do I know if it's going to work for me? Well, it's not working for the person I'm looking at. Then guess what? That's probably why they're telling me don't do as I do. Thank you very much.
You fought real hard for that. That was a valiant effort. That was a valiant effort. Here's going to be the flaw in this, though, for you. Here's and maybe it's not. Maybe this is just going to be the continuation of a wonderful conversation.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold that thought. 1 second. Hold on. Wait. Somebody said, right. I've seen and heard it like that. In other words, do better, be better. That's what it was in the comment section.
Do better and be better?
Do better. If you do better, you'll be better.
Hey, listen, whoever's in the comment section, does that apply for say better to do better?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, because I think that's the
part
of contention right now. But hold on now, because I'm glad.
So I got one on my side.
I'm so glad. Listen, the Lord says where two or more joined, He shall.
Ain't nobody joined with you yet, though.
Listen, ain't no telling yet. We ain't done with the conversation.
Wait, hold on.
So
no, I ain't seen nothing yet. But go ahead.
It's okay because here's the next question that we got to get to here.
What? Go ahead.
You did an eloquent job of articulating all of your thoughts and ideologies as they pertain to do as I say not as I
Wait,
do.
wait, wait. I got a
Being,
comment. Wait,
no,
I
no.
got a comment. He said,
Oh, you
say
got
that
another
again.
comment?
Say that again. Say that again, Silk Will. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My
Oh, is
bad.
that what that was? I'm so mad. I wish I could read the comments myself
It
right
did.
here.
It didn't actually say Silk Wilk. I threw
It
that
is
in there.
okay. Okay. Hold on. I didn't know. I didn't know. Then I knew it was going to be a relative up in here. But here's in what you just articulated. You use so many wonderful thoughts and ideologies to further cement your argument. However, sir, we are still left with the question of practical habits. Now, before we go any further, and for my man in the comments section, I think he in the cheap seats though. But before we go any further, we're let's assume. Let's
Wait,
assume.
wait, wait, wait,
No,
wait. I don't mean to. Wait. We got no. We not doing no assuming. We ain't
okay.
doing no assuming.
No
We ain't doing
assuming.
no assuming.
No
You do
assuming.
no assuming. Let's stay. Listen, I ain't assumed nothing. I was telling you from an experience. All right,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right. You heard me. You heard
So
me.
let's play this out a little bit then. How did Eve learn to walk?
You answer
And
me that.
again, I'm not asking trick
Oh,
questions.
is that rhetorical or you want a response?
I am asking a very legit question. Matter of fact, forget about Eve. How does any child learn to walk? How does any child learn to walk?
Is that rhetorical or is
It's
that?
a serious. I don't ask you. Listen, I promise you, I'm not here to set you up. Don't get mad that you know my questions are going to do some damage, though. So, how does a child
See, I got
learn how to walk?
you pick them up and you go this.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that. That's so great. I'm so glad you said that. You just sat there and mimicked how to properly walk for
Mm-hmm.
this child.
Mm-hmm.
What you didn't do was say, "Child, get up and walk," while you sat down in the love seat.
Oh yeah, I do
That's
that
not the
too.
example
I
you
do that
gave.
too. I do that
No,
too.
hold on.
I do that too.
He's trying to make his argument work
I'm
for
just
him now,
saying
guys. He
it works
sees
both
his
ways.
argument
Get up,
falling
boy. If you
apart
don't get up,
right now. Now,
no,
again,
and
he
they'll get
only
up and
says that when they know how to walk already.
no, they know how to
That's when he
stand up.
says
No,
that.
they wait.
So
Okay,
now he's trying so hard,
they have
guys. Y'all hear him
before they
reaching?
walk. If
He
I
going
teach
for
them how
every
to
rebound,
stand,
ain't
if I teach them how to stand, then I can
he?
teach them how to walk.
Oh, and again, that's just not how nature works.
And guess how they? And
And
guess what?
that's not
And,
how nature
oh,
works.
my bad. I'm gonna sit here and be quiet now.
It's not how nature works. Like, again, the ideologies and the thoughts sound great, but there's not a single child. Matter of fact, it has been proven scientifically that if a child does
His name
not
is Coach
see,
G. His name's Coach G. But go
if
ahead.
a child does not see the motion of walking, then the child will remain lame. No child without seeing walking will begin to ever walk. It won't happen. Hold on.
You do know you're validating my
No, hear
response,
me out.
right?
Hear me
Yeah,
out.
you're actually validating it.
If that's how you believe it,
But go
I'm gonna
ahead.
let you have it.
My mic don't work.
But what I'm saying though is that the premise of do as I say, not as I do. It's one thing to think about that from a very what's the word I want to use? Metaphysical standpoint, meaning that we are both two aware, conscious individuals, and I have a sense of morality. You have a sense of morality. So even in your wrong, you're telling me to do right. There's a part of that that should resonate with me because I have a sense of morality to want to do right. But if we bring this back to the origin of life, no child learns anything without having practical habits being modeled in front of them. There isn't a single child that learns strictly from, hey, add 1 plus 1. A child needs to see 1 plus 1. There's not a single child that learns how to walk because you say, child, get up and walk. A child needs to see you actually walk, and they got to see you walk the right way. A child can't see you skip, and you tell them walk regular. Don't skip like me, but your legs got to move. A child can't see you playing hopscotch and begin to model that as walking. You can't turn around and say, listen, even though what I just did gets you ahead, that's not really walking. You really want to just use 1 foot at a time. You don't want to hop,
Go
hop, hop
first.
to get to your destination. That's not how you actually walk. You can't tell that to a child. Now, the conversation that you're trying to have says, well, I'm talking to somebody who is out here in the world and they're doing wrong and I'm doing wrong and I know I'm doing wrong, but I ain't gonna stop doing wrong. So I'm gonna tell this other person to stop doing wrong because hey, at the end of the day, you should listen to what I got to say. That includes such a level of intelligence, of morality, and of the wanting to actually operate differently than what they have. If we're talking about the education, we're not talking about meeting people at this point. We're talking about how do we get men from the beginning up until they are really at a point to be this man. How do we really model that for them? Then it has to be modeled. It can't be this. Let me speak it.
So that's why I say you have to understand the history of the question of when they say do do as I say and not as I do. You don't start hearing that until you're able to do stuff that you already know how to do. So they're just telling there's something that they're telling you to do, right? That they're seeing you're doing, and you're telling them to do the opposite. Why I gotta go over
It,
there? What wait? Why I gotta go over there and empty the trash? Because I told you to. So listen, watch this.
Mhm.
You go empty the trash. So the next time you see the trash full, didn't I tell you to go empty the trash? But you never see me empty the trash. You see me every now and again, but when you reach that certain age now, watch this. When you reach, let's give me an example. Once I got 8 years old, this use that hypothetical. No, it's not hypothetical. A son's job was to empty the trash. They seen you empty the trash. You right. They see you empty the trash. Now I'm telling you to empty the trash, and you're gonna say why? And guess what I'm gonna tell you? Because I told you so. So as you keep emptying the trash, the reason why you keep emptying the trash will come to you. Don't ask no questions, just go do it. And that's the problem right now. This generation just keeps asking, why? Why? I
Mm.
gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new that you gotta figure out. All this oh, you need to explain to me how the physiological way I supposed to hold my fingers to pick up a trash can, the way I supposed to. Man, come on, just go do it, man. See, that's the problem. Everybody with these whippy pamsy mamsy, all this stuff. Like, man, explain. Listen, explain. So this boy, they might not never talk to me again because I'm going baby boom on you, right? Man, I ain't explaining nothing to no little kid that I'm putting food on your table, clothes on your back, all that stuff. You think I'm explaining? Man, just get over there and take out the trash. Period. We ain't got nothing to talk about. But we want to be diplomatic nowadays. Okay, hey Johnny, can you please take out the trash? Oh, I'll get with it. I'm getting ready to finish my game. What you mean? The game I brought you? If you don't give me that if you don't take your little narrow monkey behind and take out that trash, before it starts stinking and smelling. Well, I just explained to you why, without explaining to you why you need to take out the trash. Because the first thing I'm saying, now get that nasty behind trash out here. So I just explained to you why. Go ahead and say what you guys say. Let me see what the comment section. They ain't saying nothing. I went baby boomer on you. You
No,
just
you just
lost.
went grandpa from the Boondocks on us.
Baby boomer, baby.
That's so you went baby boomer. Is it okay if I go to a place that also starts with a B? It's called
Well,
biblical.
well, we only got 12 minutes,
That's
so
fine. I can wrap this up in a verse.
you
Cause,
ain't never
cause,
did
cause
nothing.
you
You ain't
like,
never
cause
you
as
ain't
as
never
the
did nothing in
chat. No,
12
no, no.
minutes
This is
since
for
I
the
know.
chat. I'm not even talking to you right now. I'm just talking to the chat right now. I ain't even having a conversation with you no more. I'm talking to the chat that was so loud from the cheap seats. That was in such, yeah, tell them. So you mentioned two things that I thought was very much
Praise.
poignant as well as important for this topic. You mentioned them consistently. You mentioned origin, how this whole thing began of do as I say, not as I do. And then you mentioned a particular time period where this is would be somewhat more applicable because that's what, today crazy young kids, but baby boomers, hey, we you got the information, you went and did it. So let's just for everybody, I'm a big fan of the Bible and education more than I am of emotions. So now, biblically, Matthew 23, verse 3, Jesus says, what they tell you to do. Here's how, see, this is why reading your Bible is important, and you got to read the whole thing, because I know for a fact that the good brothers Slick Wilkie, he read half of this verse. And he didn't read the second half of this verse. He read this first half. What they tell you to do and observe. He stopped reading after that, y'all. The remainder of the verse says, but do not do what they do, for they do not do what they say.
Thank you.
Hold
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Oh,
But
oh, oh.
they don't do what they say. So let's back it up a little bit. Hold on. The phrase comes from preachers say, do as I say, not as I do. So now, the beautiful part of this is that if you just hold on to the part of do as I say, not as I do, and then you say, hey, well, since they didn't do what they said to do, then I shouldn't do what they say. The Bible here says, don't do it because they don't do what they say. They're speaking falsely. And they're presenting themselves falsely. So can a bad person give good information? Absolutely. Quite frankly, that's what recovery is. Me and you have a history. However, me and you both know, not speaking in the space of perfection, because I want to be very clear for any brother that's in recovery right now, I am far from perfect in my recovery walk. Like me having stopped certain behaviors, right? That's a real thing. But when we're talking about being able to create examples, because that's the and you know what I love what I see right now happening out of this podcast, and I love it. I love how God is operating right now. He's allowing two separate voices, not even two separate because we are two separate people, but two separate voices to actually come together for the same purpose. So here's the deal. We got brothers right now who are in the chat. And those brothers definitely identify with my man Slick Will.
Silk, not slick. Silk.
Silk, look, add the L because he's losing this argument right now. Now, but no, seriously though, because I want to make this very clear before we get out of here. This isn't, I don't want this to come across as me saying that the years that men have invested in being able to present information to young people that they weren't able to model is absolutely wrong. We've been telling our kids you can be a president without ever being a president. So I want to be very clear right now that this is not the complete like anti-spiel about the do as I say, not as I do, because there are way too many positive examples that exist about that. My position on it is that there needs to be an accompanying of good examples. Because when we simply have communication, when we simply have communication, the doing of the communication becomes difficult without an example of how to do the communication. Even when you're telling, and I love your example about the trash. Guess what? You demonstrated it. There's not a single dad who said, I'm going to have a kid one day, so I'm going to leave all this trash right here until this kid comes here and he can take the trash out. That's not what happened. From the time the child is born, that child been watching his daddy get that trash out of that house on time every single Tuesday or Thursday or Sunday night or whenever the heck that trash got to go out front. There's demonstration that goes into it. There's a demonstration there. Even for you, I want to hold on, because this all started with you. This is your fault. No, I'm pointing your finger at me. I'm pointing back at you. This is his fault because he said that in his past, he was a preacher.
No, I'm a preacher now. I ain't never
He's
seen
still
my
a
past.
preacher.
That don't never go away.
Okay. So in his past, when he preached, there are times that
I still preach. It ain't no past.
But this is the past. Negro, can you let me finish this statement? It's past tense. I gotta say past.
Oh, past tense. Okay, that's more like it.
Oh, but nobody in the comments got nothing to say about that. Ain't nobody in the comments got anything to say about that. But no, here's what I'm seriously. What I'm saying though is that, particularly for you, brother, and for men like you, because I think the men that are resonating with you in the chat are very much like you. They're not looking for the cop out.
No, they're your age.
But no. I mean, like you, not from a chronological sense. What I mean is,
like
what I mean
truth.
is that when
they just know
you,
truth.
even in that past situation,
because I'm getting ready to break that word down and show you that you actually use the scripture that I used to validate what I said. But go ahead.
Van, you see how he don't even want to let me give him some props. He just gonna keep talking. So
we got 3 minutes.
I've been trying for the last 8. What he did actually was that
you shouldn't do as I'm doing right now, cutting you off and all that. So just when you're doing something, don't do what I'm doing. All right, go ahead.
I'm so glad I've matured in my faith that I know when it's God testing me and not me.
But do not do what they do. I'm telling you, don't do what I do. He says, do whatever. Look. It tells you. It says, do whatever they tell you and observe it. I'm telling you, do what I say. Right? That's the first part of the place. And the second part it says, but don't do what they do. And I'm telling you, don't do what I do. Do as I say and not as I do. The scripture is validating what I'm saying. But go ahead.
What's the last 8 words of the verse?
For they preach, but do not practice. That's why you shouldn't do what I do.
Okay, so now.
You got 3 minutes.
What is this, a cartoon? He said 3 minutes, 8 minutes ago.
No, it was actually 5. I was being deceptive. Because I needed 2 minutes for myself.
So since he needed to feel a bit selfish, And I
Yeah,
guess
two
we
and a half
felt
minutes.
we felt left out, and that's I'm just gonna keep doing this because he's gonna keep giving me 30-second updates, and until he gets down to the last 30 seconds, hey, we'll just go ahead
I'm
and
gonna let
do.
you close us out today. So I'm gonna sit back and let you close us out tonight.
Mm.
Close us out any way you want, because I rest my case. Hold on.
This is what happens when he has technical difficulties. I'm realizing that like he doesn't know how to properly like deal with his own internal issues of like some shame and a little embarrassment right now. So he's going to try to interrupt this right now. But brothers, if it's one thing you got out of tonight, or at least from on behalf of me, right? There is an underlining tone or message that I think always needs to be conveyed. Because above all, God knows more beyond your language and beyond your actions. He actually knows two important things. He knows your heart and he knows the plans that he has for you. So now, if you're the brother and you know God got some plans for you, or if you're the brother and you know in your heart you want to act you want to operate a lot differently than your words and your actions are failing to line up for, then God probably still got a plan for you. But I'm still going to admonish you, work to be the example of what you're saying. Don't just be the microphone for the good thing, be the example for it. I'm done. I'm done.
No, you closing us out.
That was my closeout. We close out. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's it. I'm done.
Hey, hey guys, look, see, sometimes we gonna have these things, and in my humility and my humbleness, I'm gonna allow him to think he like really put me in my place, but it's all good. But listen,
As he interrupted me the entire. That's how you know I
hey,
won when he wouldn't let me
hey,
talk.
listen, hit that. Listen, guys, listen, hit that subscribe button. We look forward to. We thank all of y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere else in this world, but y'all checked us out tonight, and this was a good night. The original design for man, right? The original design for man. That's what we were talking about. That's what the man was designed to like be combative. This guy Ray Coach G live all over being with here, right here with Coach G. God loves you, and I love you. And guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace out. Holla. Just don't do as I do. Just do as I say.
Nah, I'm
You
gonna show
heard
y'all.
me.
Just. I'm a mind. I'm a mind. Just watch what I do.
Love y'all.